Was able to change it a bit. I didn't.
Okay, so we have an intro. So she put a little bit of effort into the video. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a great day. It's Friday, yay. But moms know we never get to sleep in. 365 days a year, no day off. Anyways, let's get into this.
So this is the situation I have to deal with. How am I going to make it comfortable? How am I going to make it good for myself, you know? Because it's crunch time and I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. This is just going to be...
You know, I'm wondering if she doesn't come live today, then I'm kind of assuming that they're already traveling to wherever the destination is, and that's why she posted this video. Filler video from the other trips, I guess. Mostly, yeah, filler video.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So the purpose of this video today is going to be talking about traveling as an obese person, somebody who's severely overweight like myself, and how I managed to travel long distances, how I managed to travel.
Is that the first time, excuse me, I'm eating cough drops, or having a cough drop. I still have the cough, it's allergy. I don't know if you've ever heard of post-nasal drip. Yeah, and that's like affecting my throat, so that's what it is. I don't think she has ever admitted to being morbidly obese. She's always said plus size, I believe things like that. I'm not sure, but more like big like this? No, I don't think she's ever admitted it.
As an overweight person, and I'm sure that there are a lot of obese people out there who would love to travel, but they're just afraid to for certain reasons, you know, albeit the stigma that goes along with being overweight, you know, the reception from public. I'm not sure how it's, you know, overweight people are treated in different countries.
First of all, yes, I do agree that there are certain stigmas that come with being overweight. But I think the majority of reasons, especially while flying, it's for safety reasons, not for Chantal, like because you're so shallow. You think of like a physical appearance, like they're gonna shun you because of your obesity. No, it's safety factors.
To the actual logistics of traveling, like the physical part, how it's hard, mobility wise, or plane traveling and stuff like that. Will you fit in the seats? And little fears, you know, fears that overweight people tend to have when it comes to traveling. So I'm just going to talk a bit about my personal experience, in particular in regards to my current trip.
You know, I'm going to say this though, looking at her, I do not like the red lipstick. It looks horrible on you, Chantal. Please don't wear that again. But the green looks good on her because she has that pale skin. My daughter-in-law is also pale like this, and she's a redhead. And like the earth tones, like greens or like nice browns or like mustards, things like that look really good with this type of pale skin. So the green I like.
Now, actually, I will say, I've been saying for, you know, months, I want to get ready for the trip. I want to lose some weight for the trip because I 100% don't dispute the fact that, you know, if I lose weight, my mobility will increase greatly. I'll feel better. I'll be able to do a lot more. But as it turns out, I've been struggling a lot and I haven't been able to meet my goal. And
what goal? Like, did she ever even actually set out a goal? I don't believe so. And what are you struggling with? To me, all that proves is that there's actual an issue with you and glitter tits over there, and you're just completely eating your feelings. That's why you've packed on probably. How much do you think she's packed on? I don't know. Anywhere from 150 to 200 pounds she's probably packed on while she's been in Kuwait. So she's eating her feelings.
Still
which
traveling,
is sad.
You know, we have the tickets from a long time ago.
No, you don't.
Hotel booked from a long time ago.
A long time ago? Excuse me, didn't she just book this like a week or two ago? It hasn't been that long. So these are not like tickets that you've been sitting on. Be quiet.
I had a lot of fun when I went to Thailand. So how I did it,
you didn't have fun.
I do still have some anxiety.
7-Eleven the entire time.
You know, like everyone else. But I know I might look super tired because I have allergies and I have no makeup on, eye makeup on right now.
I know you
So
have
yeah,
yesterday's eye
it's
makeup on still.
almost time to travel, and I have not lost any weight. I've gained some weight,
Oh
so it will
man.
be a bit harder
She
on me.
admitted it.
But
Shocked.
there are some ways that you can still be comfortable while traveling as an obese person, as comfortable as you can be. Obviously, losing the weight would have
Excuse
been
me.
ideal for me. Maybe I can,
You haven't even
lose some weight while
tried.
I'm.
You haven't even tried. And I mean, there's some people that have actually suggested that, or like a conspiracy theory, if you will, that you were purposely trying to gain weight so that you wouldn't be forced to go on this trip. That's, some people were thinking that because you were eating quite a bit, knowing, and if you like, if we're going off of what you said, Chantal, that you've had these plane tickets and the hotel arrangements for a long time, which I don't believe so. Let's just say you did. Why would you be eating all of that right before vacation? I don't think I met anybody, or I know of anybody, that stuffs their faces days or weeks before going on some type of exotic vacation. Nobody does that. Usually people try to get in shape and really don't eat before the vacation because they know when they go on the vacation they're going to stuff their face wherever the destination is. Like, you're opposite. It's weird.
There, continue to try. We'll see. Every day is a fight, a struggle for me, and so yeah. But
Then
that's a
stop
topic for another
eating.
time. So, um, the plane, uh, the plane ride, about fitting on the planes used to be one of my biggest fears as an overweight person, and I can tell you that most of the time, there was a couple times I got lucky, but I've flown from Canada to Kuwait to the Middle East, 13-hour flight, 14
Big
hour
whoop.
14 hours in the plane, many times. And most of the time I have to sit beside somebody, and I think it just depends on your body type, your body shape, more than how much you weigh. Like, I'm an apple shape,
Apple shape? I
and
don't think so.
from the front, I still look big, but I don't look as big. I'm not as big from this way as I am sideways. So if
Let's
you
see. Let me
are,
let me stop and think. Let's think of the produce department. Honestly, I don't think she's apple shaped. When I think of apples, I think of like somebody with a nice ass. Let's just put it that way. Like apple bottom jeans. That's like when I think of apple. That's what I think of. She's not pear shaped. Pumpkin shaped, maybe. What other vegetables or fruits can we compare her to? Cantaloupe. Things like that. Not apple shaped, Chantal. Please get out of
pear
here.
shaped, you carry most of your weight in your
Pear
hips.
shaped.
You're going to have a harder time, depending on your size, with the airplane seats that are very narrow, as opposed to somebody who carries most of their weight in the abdomen. You will probably need a seatbelt extender, but you can actually order one online. Just Google search seatbelt extender
I didn't
for
know
the
that. You can actually
either
order
a
those.
universal one or a particular airline you're looking for. They do sell them on Amazon for pretty cheap. Now, I don't mind asking
I
if
mean,
that's
the fact that they market seatbelt extenders says a lot about society. I mean, in my opinion, the only reason anyone should need a seatbelt extender is if they have some type of genetic condition, that causes that issue, or if they are pregnant. If this is like a self-inflicted obesity issue, unbelievable.
if you're not okay with asking for a seatbelt extender, I don't mind asking for a seatbelt extender. I get on the plane, they direct me to my seat. There's usually a flight attendant that is in the aisles, so I just ask them, may I have a seatbelt extender? You can even bring them to the back, ask to talk to them privately and ask for one. And it's usually,
She's probably one of those naggy people on the plane that always bugs the flight attendants all the time, like every 5 minutes. Excuse me, or ringing the bell like every 5 minutes. Flight attendants, I would like to thank you if there's any of you out there. You guys do a tremendous job with the people that you have to deal with. I've seen the videos on YouTube. I'm sure everybody has seen the videos of people, going nuts on the plane. I don't know what it is about planes that makes people act out of their mind. I don't know what it is, but you guys do a tremendous service for the public, and I thank you.
they're very easy to use. You don't have to worry about that. They just clip into the seatbelt. So, yeah, I'm just used to it. I'm not really embarrassed by that.
You
There's
should be.
quite a few other people that need seatbelt extenders on the flights usually. If not, you're the only one, that's fine.
I don't think I've been on a
You know,
flight where I've seen
just
that.
you'll probably need one if you're a certain size or certain weight. But it's not always weight based. So to say, if I'm this much weight, will I fit on a plane? It just depends on the dimensions. It depends on your body type. It
I mean,
depends on.
I don't think she's flying first class like Air Emirates style. So she's traveling coach or whatever. Business class, I don't even think she travels business class. So I'm assuming that in standard coach seating, all the planes have similar seats. I don't know.
A lot of things.
So
So if I am
dimensions,
lucky
they're
and
all
I
the
don't have
same.
anyone seated beside me, I usually just lift up the other armrest for more comfort.
Of course you do.
But yeah, depending on the airline, you can also, for an additional fee, a small additional fee, book an extra seat beside you. I know a few airlines do that. I think some
A
American
small
airlines, some
additional
international airlines, it just
fee.
depends. So you can also ask at the ticket counter when you're getting your.
Is that true? It's a small additional fee for the seat next to you. I don't believe I've ever heard of that. I know you have to buy an extra seat, so like a whole ticket, but not like a small additional fee. What
Boarding
airline is
pass,
this?
you can
Spirit?
ask, are there any seats left? Because most people will have their seats by then. Are there any seats left that are, there's an empty seat beside? Another thing is, I love the window seat, but the aisle seat actually gives you more room because you can kind of, whenever they're not doing dinner service, or you'll get knocked out by a cart, but
Oh my goodness. She's in the
you
aisle.
can kind of put your legs out a bit into the aisleway. You can
Can
spill
you
out a bit into the
imagine?
aisleway, is what I'm looking to
But
say.
see, this is
So,
this is why I don't agree with people of your size, Chantal, traveling on planes because you become a safety hazard with your appendages that are too large to fit in the designated area that you spill out into the aisle. That's a safety hazard, and you just say it like you're just comfortable with doing that. It's okay. I'm just gonna do that. Fuck everybody else on the plane. That's it's unbelievable.
I've become more accustomed with the travel that way, and I'm not too nervous about that. It's not as long of a flight this time as going to Canada, so it's something I can endure. As for the
So
mobility
they're
part,
traveling
because
someplace close.
airports are hard to maneuver. Even for a fit person, they're exhausting if you have to be running around when you're tired and traveling all day. So
I actually
I have a
like
lot of health
airports.
issues, and
I
I
like
do
going
have
to
mobility.
airports because it's amazing the different types of people from every demographic of life that you will see in the airport. So a lot of the times because you have to get there like a few hours before your flight, I like to people watch. It's kind of fun.
Issues because of my weight. Somehow on travel day, I'm able to just like suck it up, but it is hard. It is not, it's harder for sure. It's more difficult. I get winded more easily. My lower back starts hurting.
Of course you do.
Just those kind of things. So, if the airport has a
Why don't
service
you
where you,
get Chantal? Why don't you? I don't know if they sell them on Amazon. Those little buggies. Those what are they called? I don't know like the correct term. I know them as like a buggy. Those electric little carts that you see obese people like at the store. Those things. Why don't you get yourself one of those and you can drive crazy in the airport?
can request, like for certain people, you can request a wheelchair. Sometimes I approach these carts that are driving around and just like beg them for a ride to my gate, and they
Beg. Oh
usually do
no.
oblige. Except when I went to Germany, they kind of just like
Oblige.
said no. So, but here in the Middle East, they always have the complimentary service.
When you went to Germany and they said no, did they say Schwein? I'm just wondering if you heard
Even in the
Schwein.
Montreal airport, they do have a little train station you can wait at, and someone will take you to your gate if you're disabled, you have mobility issues, or you're elderly.
I bet you she's
So
one of those. She's
feel
one
free
of
to use
those.
those.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if she has some type of, excuse me, the handicap placard for a disability, and her disability that she's claiming is obesity.
But as for me, I try to walk it unless I'm really, really struggling. Then I'll ask for a ride.
And
So,
let me just say
but
this. I'm not saying that obese people should not have the right to have the disability placard. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if it's somebody like this who is purely has obesity due to self-infliction and just laziness and not willing to change their lifestyle, I don't believe that they deserve the handicap placard. But if you like have some genetic disorder, some disease, some illness or something that contributes to your obesity issue where you can't control it, then yes, you should have the handicap placard. Somebody like Chantal, no, they shouldn't.
Being on the plane for a long time, it actually does feel good to walk a bit after, even though, it's hard for me. So I'm going to try to walk it. If it's really tough on me, I'll try to find somebody
She's
to
not
take
going to
me.
walk the airport.
But what I usually do is just kind of, airports have a lot of seating usually. So I use those moving walkways, to take a break. I just stand on them and let them push me
Of
down
course
the
you
way.
do.
I also find some seating somewhere. So I take some walks and then I take some breaks. So taking breaks
Can you
are very,
imagine?
very important.
She
Staying
probably
hydrated.
walks about I'm gonna be nice here, maybe 20 feet, and then stops and sits down, and then rests for about a half an hour, and then does it all over again. That's probably why it takes her that long to move from one gate to the other.
Always have water on me. Actually, right now talking, I'm pretty thirsty.
A
So
diabetic thirst. Diabetes.
make sure you have a lot of water. For example, at the Doha airport here, there in Qatar, not here, but in Qatar, they have water stations that you can refill your water bottles for free.
There's
So
been discussion on how you pronounce that. Is it Qatar or Qatar? How do you pronounce it? I'm going with Qatar because that's how I've heard it pronounced, but I don't
be
know.
on the lookout for those near the washrooms. So that's what I do. So that's how I treat my mobility issues. Even when I was in Thailand,
By what? Being lazy?
sometimes I didn't have a hard time walking around, and I could walk around for like, sometimes an hour, maybe 2 hours, even without.
Maury Povich says that is a lie. Chantal, do you remember that you documented part of the adventures that you had in Thailand? There's no way that you were walking around for 2 hours in Thailand. Majority of the time of that Thailand trip was either in the hotel room eating 7-Eleven, or if you did go to, let's just say, the temple that you went to, you were sitting down a majority of the time, fanning yourself, disrespecting the temple. So stop it. It's all documented by you. So be quiet.
Sitting down, but that was like just walking around looking at things, not like vigorous walking. But sometimes I would be tired on certain days and I would walk and then I
Certain
would sit,
days.
walk and sit and just find anywhere to sit. Like one time we were walking on the street and it was just really humid and I was getting exhausted. And
Can you
so
imagine?
I found these
She was probably
stairs,
yelling at him.
these steps leading to a business building, and I just sat on them for a minute, and
Embarrassing.
I was okay to get up again and walk. So taking breaks is very important. Know your limits with your mobility to make it more enjoyable for you. Ideally, like for me, I don't like the situation I'm in. I wish I was able to change it a bit.
You are able to change it, Chantal. That's like, you don't get it. It's an easy fix for you, but you do not want to do it. You are lazy. You have no motivation whatsoever, and you love just being in your own misery. So, yeah, you don't want to change it.
But I didn't. So this is the situation I have to deal with. How am I going to make it comfortable? How am I going to make it good
And
for myself?
it's not even that. Let's just say Salah was Glitter Tits was like a good guy or whatever, and he just got duped by Chantal. It's not only you that has to deal with it. You're making him deal with it. Not only that, you flying on the airplanes or needing special accommodations, you're making everybody else, the public at large, deal with it, Chantal. So your obesity doesn't only affect you, it affects everybody around you. You're such a narcissist, and all you do is think about yourself. You never think about everybody else around you.
Another thing I find, I don't know if like all obese people have this problem, but I'm always hot and I'm always sweaty. So I make sure to have
Because
I
you
don't have it
have
around here with me,
insulation.
but a personal fan, and make sure it's charged. Make sure your personal fan is with you at all times, especially in hotter countries. It's a lifesaver, especially walking around airports when you're, doing more activity and you're sweaty. So yeah, that's
Activity?
pretty much how I deal
I
with
don't
my
think so.
mobility issues. I just make sure that I have take enough breaks, and I choose activities and scope out the areas on Google and check out like images on Google Image to make sure that there's enough seating. Like you have to know your limits. Like if you can push yourself, but to a certain extent, you don't want it to become dangerous, and you don't want to overdo it and become sick abroad and have to worry about going to the hospital and stuff like that. So, like, just be sure to know.
Didn't you go to the hospital because of a boil, I believe, in Thailand? So, considering you are heavier now and you clearly are ill. I mean, you can look at your face. You're swollen. You're having an issue with your eyeball. I don't know if it's from the Timu makeup or you have like diabetes eyes. Yeah, I guarantee you're going to end up in some type of medical facility wherever this traveling will lead you.
Limitations. It's very important. I sometimes push myself too much, and then my muscles are sore, or I have blisters, or
She pushes herself too much where her muscles are sore and has blisters. Get out, Chantal. Get all the way out. That's a lie. That is a lie. The lightning is coming. What
I just
the
don't
hell?
really feel too well. I feel like I'm going to pass out, so I don't want to get to that point ever again. It's better to take
You
your
never
time.
push yourself. You never push yourself. You never push yourself. If you did, Chantal, let's just say Thailand, that Thailand trip, if you pushed yourself, you probably would have lost some weight walking around, out there in the humidity and whatnot. But you don't push yourself. Come on. Nobody gets to be a svelte 500 pounds by pushing themselves. Unless you're pushing the food in. That's the only way.
And just have a seat if you really need to. So yeah, that's even if that means going to the airport earlier or planning more time in between, like finding a flight that instead of having an hour time. Let's say your transit, if you
Transit.
So I can't talk today. What I do is I usually choose flights with a longer transit time if I have to take two, if there's a stop in between.
So what you're saying is you're broke. You can't afford a direct flight, so you get flights with like connections and layovers and things like that. Is that what you're trying to say, Chantal?
If I have to take two flights, there's two legs, because I know that an hour is not going to be enough time to rush for me. So to avoid that stress, I'd rather have a longer transit time than have
That's
to
a
rush.
lie.
And
You're getting a layover and connecting flights, Chantal, because you can't afford a direct flight. I don't think that has anything to do with the obesity factor.
like overdo
It's
it
money.
for myself. So those are just little knacks that I use to deal with my weight
Please.
issues when traveling. And it can be, you can have a normal time or near normal time anyway if you just choose things that, if you know your limits, if you know where you're going, if there's going to be seating and stuff like that. Another thing that I do is I use transportation. So like I make sure that we go as close to the place as possible, get dropped off as
I don't know. Every time we've gone anywhere, we always rent a car. Yeah, that would be better. Then you don't have to worry about can you get transportation here or there or wherever. You have your own car.
close as possible. I don't want to exhaust myself, use all of my energy reserves and capabilities walking to the place, and then having to do a few more hours of walking around. So I make sure to, it's kind of a little bit of extra money. For example, when we were in Thailand, the metro was a lot cheaper than taking a Bolt or a taxi. But the Bolts and taxis in Thailand were not actually that expensive, so it didn't really make much of a difference, which is something I liked. No matter how long the ride is, they had a set price, and it was usually only maybe 50 bahts more than taking the metro or something like that. So in Thailand, I took a lot of the taxis. I don't think we ever used public transportation because it was...
Maury Povich says that's a lie. And I have the photo. I'm going to put it in this video somewhere. You did take public transportation. There were people, staring at you because you looked crazy on the public transportation.
Hot, it was humid.
The diabetes is affecting her brain.
I wouldn't be able to walk too far, especially like where our hotel was.
And I mean, I'm not actually joking. The diabetes is affecting her brain. You can clearly see she cannot remember things. She has these manic episodes that are crazy, insane. I'm telling you right now, diabetes can affect the brain. If you don't believe me, Google it. But I'm sure most of you know already.
Knowing that I'm not like a normal healthy person, and that's another thing. Know who you are and know your limits. That's so important. And
you don't even know who you are,
don't
Chantal. Didn't you say you were like searching for yourself? You're like age 40 and you don't know who you are yet. So make that make sense. You don't know who you are.
Comparing yourself to a healthier person and saying, like, I keep it in the back of my mind that yes, I would like to be like that. I would like to be healthier.
Then
Okay,
do
but
it.
at the same time, while I'm living this, I have to accept what I am at the moment and try to enjoy
No,
myself regardless.
that's something that a loser would say, and somebody that doesn't want to succeed at anything. Accepting the way I am. No, Chantal, because what you're doing to yourself is self-inflicted. You can completely change this around, but you refuse to. So for you to say that you're accepting this right now is telling me and telling everybody else that you will never lose weight, you will never try to lose weight, and this will be the end of you. That's what you're telling everybody.
So just, I'm not saying be proud of your limitations, but
That's what you
just
just
don't let
said.
them deter your traveling and ruin it for you. Don't be like ashamed, like, oh, I
And I
have to
think,
take.
and also, I'm going to put a disclaimer in this video as well. She shouldn't be telling people this because I'm sure there's some people that follow her channel that might be in the same, that might have the same health issues as her, or maybe even worse. And then they're going to listen to her. Oh, if Chantal can travel, so can I. And then they like might seriously become sick or injure themselves or whatever. Chantal should not be saying go ahead and do it on a video at all. Completely dangerous, completely immoral. Like, but I'm not surprised. It's Chantal. She does not think before she speaks, and she does not think about other people.
I have these mobility issues. I need certain things. Like, don't be ashamed of that. And don't try to act like a thinner, more in shape person and
Why
do what
you
they do.
do?
Just know what you need to do for you and do it. Like for me, I couldn't. I don't think I could fathom taking public transportation, walking for a bit, getting on another metro, walking for a bit. Like I have anxiety issues, and I also have mobility issues. So for me, that just wasn't ideal. So I
Your
just took
anxiety, the whole thing about her anxiety issues is I don't believe any of the anxiety that she has. This is just my opinion, just based on the years of watching her. Her anxiety issues look like they're not based on some traumatic episode in her life or something that happened. Her anxiety issues are purely based off of her insecurities, of people looking at her and her thinking about what people think about her. It's purely anxiety because of her physical appearance and nothing else. So once again, self-inflicted.
I took the taxis, the Grabs, the Bolts, excuse me, and just have them drop you off right in front of the place. And then you can enjoy more of your time actually doing the activity instead of worrying about all those anxieties that you have being an overweight person with mobility issues and just getting there. So yeah, you can save a few bucks, but for me, it's just wasn't feasible. So yeah, we put out the extra money for that. The transportation was important. So even if you have to balance something
And
else,
I mean,
her
even saying that, like, because I don't, like, I think they're maybe going to Morocco. I don't know. Depending on the country that you're traveling to, you don't even know what type of infrastructure that they have within the country, whether they have, any type of transportation systems, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, there's no point in her saying that. I mean, I can't even imagine being her size and traveling because, like I said, she looks horrible right now. She looks ill. She should, like, if I was a physician, knowing what she has explained to us and the things and seen, I wouldn't advise her to travel at all.
less shopping money to spend more on transportation. If it makes your trip more enjoyable that way, then you do that. It's kind of like
And
just
especially during a
kind of
possible
deal. So,
war zone either.
So,
Crazy.
anyways, there's plenty of activities you can do that don't require, hiking in a mountain and stuff like that. Things that you're just not physically able to do. You can find things,
Then what are you gonna
just
do?
an equal amount of things that you are physically able to do and still have fun on your trip as an overweight.
But okay, Chantal, that's fine and cool beans, whatever. But when you went to Thailand, you really didn't do anything. Excuse me. You didn't do anything. You went to the temple. You went to the drugged tiger exhibit. And then you went to that area where it burnt down like the day after you went, which was kind of weird. But that's about it. I mean, majority of the time, I mean, who goes to Thailand and doesn't go to the beach? That's the weirdest thing I've ever. What a waste of a trip to not go to the beach at all in Thailand. At all. Or even like you're in the hotel room eating 7-Eleven. You're in Thailand and you're not partaking in the food. Like you did it one time, I think, or twice. You ate the live shrimp and then I think you went out by yourself one time. I really can't remember. But yeah, you don't do anything on vacation. Like I can't even imagine being glitter tits. He's younger than you allegedly, and having a wife like you're literally a ball and chain, like figure, like literally a 500-pound ball with a chain. How horrible.
Person. So I hope that like quells some of your anxieties. If you're overweight and you've always dreamed of traveling and you're waiting to lose weight to do it, there's always ways you can travel. So don't worry about that. You can follow along, our travel journey for more. I also have some travel videos on our Salah and Chantal channel. You can check it out. The link's in the description. And I also have some channels in my. I also have some videos on my channel as well. I'll try to link them in the description as well, so you can see how I traveled. Throughout various times, and didn't think I could do it either, but I did. And each time you do something you don't think you can, you get stronger and it gets easier to do.
Sure.
So
you haven't gotten stronger. You probably, let's see, how long ago did they go to Thailand? I can't even remember as well. How much weight have you gained, Chantal? At least, I mean, I would say close to 100 pounds since that trip. So yeah, no. Horrible.
Anyway, thank you for listening to me. So I'm not ready to travel as I thought I would be, but we're gonna still do this. It'll be interesting and a little more challenging, but
a little.
There are
ways.
Be
horrible.
I'm head set on enjoying myself anyway, and not getting too down and not dwelling on the fact that I'm not.
Oh wow, it's gonna be a nightmare.
I'm not in better shape, and inshallah we will still have a good time. So, anyways, that's it for now.
Okay, anyways, this trip, wherever they're going, is going to be a horrible trip. I can see it. I can feel it. I'm sure everybody else does. She looks horrible. I mean, if you watch her, she could barely go to the bathroom without being out of breath. I can't even imagine her being on the plane. The fear of blood clots. The people sitting next to me, where are they going? Like I can't even imagine. But I'm excited to see this train wreck of a vacation happen. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.